Well. Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome. My name is Teresa Chandler. I am with the Cook County Assessor's Office. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us this evening. You could have been any place else because it's a beautiful day outside, but you decided to be here with us. So I'm not a one woman's team, of course not. With me is my coworker. She's behind the stage. Her name is Michelle Radini. So if you have any questions, when I said any questions, please just drop them in the chat and Michelle will be there to answer your questions. Now, this is some very informative information and we want you to be able to share it with your friends and your family and your neighbors. So relax, get a pen and paper, or your tablet or if your phone and get ready to take care and absorb some great, like I said, some great data. Without further ado, let's get started. So, today and this evening, we're going to be talking about understanding your reassessment notice in Maine Township, right? Now, this information that I'm going to present to you, yeah, it's for Maine Township, but a lot of the information you can look up your township as well. And this is very good information for you new homeowners out there if you're looking to file what we call an appeal, okay? New homeowners. Again, my name is Teresa Chandler. For those of you who are joining us, behind the scene is my coworker, Michelle Radini. Drop your questions, please, in the chat. The Cook County Assessor is Fritz Kagi. Now, what are the responsibilities of the Cook County Assessor's Office? We set the values over 1.9 million properties throughout Cook County. These properties are not determined on an individual basis, but we use a mass appraisal system, right, that looks at the general market in that area. In addition to that, we administer property tax savings exemptions that contributing to lower your property tax bills. What the Cook County Assessor's Office, what we don't do, we don't set your tax rates. We don't set your tax levies. We don't mail out your tax bills. And we don't decide the balance of your tax bill. These are things that we don't do at the Cook County Assessor's Office. Now, the Cook County Assessor's Office, it's hot in my house. You know, it's really hot. I should have turned the air on. I didn't realize it was so hot outside today. But anyways, the Cook County Assessor's Office, we follow what we call a triennial reassessment throughout this county. And really, what does that mean? In Cook County, we reassess 1/3 of the county properties every year. A property reassessment year depends on where the township is located. So if you're in Barrington Township or South Barrington or Elk Grove, that's the northern township, right? So during a reassessment property period, you can file an appeal within 30 days after you receive your reassessment notice. And I'm going to show you what a reassessment notice look like. Now, to file an appeal in Maine Township, for you guys out there in Maine, the deadline is July 18th, okay? July 18th. Now, the last time Maine was reassessed was in 2022. Yeah, that's right. Now, how do you think the real estate market has changed since then? Well, let's dive into it. The Cook County Assessor's Office, our information, our data, it's totally transparent. You can assess and obtain this residential valuation report for Maine Township on our website. So all the information here that I'm going to display tonight is on our website. As I stated, new homeowners, grab to this information because this is something that you need to know. Well, this is our sales trend from 2021 to 2024. Now, this is specifically from Maine Township. This is your valuation report. Yes, It's on our website. So, what we have here in our market analysis and our median assessment estimated market values for 2025, we have your single family home. Remember, this is Maine Township because sometimes we do have others that join us on our presentations that's in a total different township. But this is specifically for Maine Township. So the single family home we have is 403K, and that's a 17% change in 2022. For your condos, there's a we have at 211K. That's a 29% change from 2022 median. And the multifamily, we have it at 642, and that's a 15% change from 2022. As I stated, as I go along, remember, drop all your questions in the chat because my coworker, Michelle Radini, is in the chat and she's just waiting for your questions. Now, how do you compare the real estate market to the assessor estimated market values? Well, let me just show you how. First, you need to identify your neighborhood code. That neighborhood code can be found on your reassessment notice, and I'll show you where on the upcoming slides. And once you click on your neighborhood code, you can compare your recent sales to the assessor's estimated property values. Now, this right here, this page, this diagram, this slide is very important because it tells you about your neighborhood, the number of sales that's located in your area, your neighborhood code, the median sale price, and the top sale price. You may want to know this. It's very crucial, especially if you're filing an appeal. And also the number of homes that's located in your specific area. This is great information. Now, we didn't make all of this up. This is from our data analysis. This is information that you can use when you're formulating your property tax appeal. And I stated, it's all on our website. Now, this is just a sample of how a reassessment notice looks, okay? What you should look for when you're looking at your reassessment notice? You want to look at your property index number, that PIN number. That's just an acronym. You know, we use that a lot in terms, so that's your PIN number. In addition to that, your estimated fair market value. It tells you what we believe your house is worth, okay? And if you believe that it's worth something else, then that's when you file an appeal. In addition to that, you have your neighborhood code, right? Your neighborhood code is what you're going to use when you're looking for that valuation data. Your property characteristics, very important. Let's say if one of them are wrong, this is the time to take a look and say, hey, I need to get this modified. I need to change this. And also on your reassessment notice, you have what we call your assessed value. And you have those for the last 3 years. Why the last 3 years? Because it shows what you were reassessed for over the last 3 years. And now your new estimated fair market value. So you can see all the data on one form. And most importantly, the deadline to file your appeal. It's very crucial that you pay attention to that, okay? And this is just a sample of a reassessment notice. On the flip side of your reassessment notice, we have what we call your information about your exemption. Did you file? If you did, your information will be displayed on the flip side of your reassessment notice. Please check for the history and see if you received them for the last 4 or 5 years. If you have not received them in the last 3 years, you can file what we call certificate of errors and receive monies back. Yep, money back for the last 3 years, okay? So make sure that also your contact information, all right? Our contact information is at the very bottom. We're on mostly all social media and our phone number is there. So what are the 3 most common reasons why a person may want to file an appeal? Well, we've identified three, and this is our three. The first is lack of uniformity. The second one is overvaluation. That pretty much speaks for itself. And the third is incorrect property description error. So we say you have a brick home, but actually you have a frame home. That's incorrect property description error. Or your square footage is totally wrong. These are the most common, okay? As I stated, please drop all questions. I don't see any in the chat. Well, I'm really not paying that much attention, but Michelle is there to answer all your questions. And please put them in a chat box. So this is how it goes. The reassessment and then the appeal process. Just say you receive your reassessment notice in the mail, right? And you says, well, hi, my house is not worth that $250,000, that value you put on your house. File an appeal. And once you file an appeal, our analyst, the Cook County Assessor's analyst, will review all of your data, all of your information to determine whether or not you will receive a decrease or no change. It's just that simple. And you know what, guys? It's free. One of my coworkers says, if it's free, it's for me. It's free, it's for me. You can do this in the comfort of your own home, okay? So I urge you to take a look at all of your data to see if, in fact, your characteristics are correct. Now, filing online is free. When I first started with the Cook County Assessor's Office, we filed by paper, right? And we have to thumb through paper cuts, dust mites, and things like that. No longer have to do that. You can file online, right? Filing is free. You can start a draft, you can save it, you can revise it, and then you can submit it all in the comfort of your own home. You're at the airport, you forget you want to file, you know? You can submit supporting documentations, pictures, appraisal analysis, a market analysis. Again, it's free. But I want to remind you that Maine Township is open to July 18. What does that mean? That's the last day you have to file for your appeal. Now, we are currently, right now, we're always looking for avenues and ways to update our system. One of the new tool features that we have, it allows you, the user, to include comparable properties. And that's an ingredient of when you're filing your appeal online with our office, you're able to look for comparable properties. Okay? Now, remember, I said filing online is free. I'm going to take this sweater off because it's getting a little warm up in here because I'm in my upstairs and I did not turn the air on. But anyway, I want to continue and provide you this information. So the first thing you're going to do is go to our website, Cook County Assessor's Office website, and you're going to look at the tab called Appeals, File Online. Click there. I'm going to show you. It's really simple, right? So there's a couple of steps that you need to take, which is very, very simple. The first thing you do is you file to see if your township is open. More than likely, if you receive the reassessment notice, your township is open. Have your email address ready and handy. And the third, let's begin your application. Let's get started and submit by the deadline date, which is July 18. Simple. So let's go through the steps, okay? Now, to begin your appeal application, you click the filing type. And many of you may say, oh, I don't want to go through all this. I know how to do all this. But there's many others that don't. There's a lot of new homeowners that has built new houses in Maine Township, maybe Bremen Township, maybe Thornton Township, that needs to hear this. So for you all that are very educated and you know all of this, you still can share some of this information with your colleagues, with your family, with your friends, okay? So to begin your appeal application, you click one of the icons, residential, co-ops, condos, or commercial. But right now, we're only talking about residential and condominiums, okay? Now, you file online, free. You create an account. happy taxpayer of Maine Township.com, and use your password. You can use my nickname. It's Cupcake. Okay? And you begin your filing. Now, as I said, filing is free. Now, let's get started. We're going to begin. And we're just simulating right now that we're filing an appeal. So, the first option you're going to have to put in is your property index number. Remember, the acronyms is PIN, PIN. So, you're going to put in your PIN number without the dashes, and you're going to hit search option. And once you hit the search option, you're going to begin your filing. Your PIN number, your information is going to appear. If it does not appear, you have the opportunity to change it later down your application. Okay? So, in our office, in the Cook County Assessor's Office, we're here to help you. But we want you to adhere and acknowledge to the terms of the agreements in filing the appeal. And so you have to go and check these two boxes saying, I acknowledge, I've read, I understand, I agree to the Cook County Assessor's terms. So I want to get my appeal filed. So you click those two boxes and you click next. Now, this is where you verify your parcel. Is this information correct? Do you live on Montrose Avenue? Is your property classification a 278? If it is, you just click next. Me personally, I will look at the very top to see if my house is that age, is that square footage is correct, then I will click next. So your primary PIN number will be displayed here. Right now, we don't have a PIN number, okay? But it will be displayed here. And if that's your property index number, all again you do is click next. As I stated, it's so simple. Now, some homes have additional PIN numbers. Some have 2, some even have 3. Now, this is not the tab to add comparable properties. This is for additional PIN numbers. So if you have additional PIN numbers, this is where you're going to be adding them, okay? On this slide. So this next slide here is for the filer. You, the filer. Okay, are you the taxpayer? Yes. So you would click the taxpayer option here, and then you would hit next. When I tell you it's that simple, it is really easy. Next, you would have to identify you as the filer and tell us about the description of the home. Okay, you're going to get a chance to select just one, right? And many times we have persons that are the executors or the trustees and things of that nature. Those are options as well. We're trying to make everything convenient for you, the taxpayer. So on this slide here, what you would do is make sure that your name is presented, your phone number, your email address, put it in. You don't have to keep putting it in once you put it in one time, okay? Now, if your name is not correct, on the filing, this is your opportunity right here in this little box to check and says my name does not appear. We get this question all the time. That's not my name on this appeal form. How do I change it? You change it right here. You see that? I'm telling you, it's very simple. And then you hit next. Okay? So let's check your property characteristics. Remember, your property characteristics are on your reassessment notice. But what you do a little rundown and you says, well, the age of my house, is that correct? Do I live in a single family? Yes. Is my exterior construction frame or masonry? Is it stucco? Please make the proper selections. Do I have a fireplace? What kind of solar heating do I have? Make sure you check every option that applies to you. You know your house better than what we do. We need you to tell us. So your appeal application is still being started. I mean, we have selections after selections, because we want to get it right. Now, on this slide, we're going to ask you, the taxpayer, what is your desired market value? Well, here we have the house worth 620, and you says, well, no. Even though I live in a two-story building, I really believe that my house is only worth 450,000. Put it there, because you know your house better than what we do. So, what is your desired market value? And on the next slide, and I hope I'm not going too fast, but what is your reason for the appeal? Is it lack of uniformity? Is it property description error? Did we get it wrong? Is it simply overvaluation? Have we overvalued you? Did you pay less than what we have on your home? Is your building uninhabitable? You can't live in it physically? Is it vacant? Is the building no longer there? I had one the other day. The building no longer exists. Okay? Is there fire damage? Let us know. And if you recheck for a field check, you can request for a field check. Our agents will come out. Our field people will come out, but they won't come inside. If someone has to come inside, I think you better give us a call. Okay? Now, so the nature of your appeal, please, what is the nature? Make sure that you put that there. Make sure the location of the subject is correct. And how is this property subject used? Is it a single family? Is it 6 apartment or less? Is it a mixed use? Is it a townhome? You know your home. Please help us to identify and correct your property. Okay? And then just click next. So this is what you, the taxpayers, you can find comparable properties. We have a built-in grid specifically for you so that you can find comps. Do you need to find them? No, you don't need to submit them. Our office, we have a team of analysts that would do the research for you. And that's why I stated it is all free. So once you look at your property, if you want to do this yourself, because many of you are very knowledgeable, you can find your own comparable properties with the built-in grid inside. Okay? But make sure you have your assessment notice right next to you. Okay? So that you can know all of your characteristics to make your comparable properties, to choose them. So again, this is another aspect of comparable properties. When searching for your comparable properties, make sure you are finding homes that are the closest to you, made of the same construction, age, similar square footage, and the same neighborhood code. Yes, that neighborhood code can be found on your reassessment notice. Okay? And you can choose as many as you like. Now, in addition to filing your appeal, there are things that you can add in order to help your appeal, to say, hey, I want you to see my home. I don't have that Martha Stewart kitchen. Take pictures. We would accept them. If you have a market analysis or a recent appraisal, we're not telling you to go and buy one. But if you just happen to have one, you can attach it. Okay? Now, this is the very end. When I tell you that it was so simple, simple. So why would you pay an attorney? No disrespect to any attorneys if you're out there and you're listening, but you don't need an appraisal to do this. Everything is transparent. Everything is online, right? So here you just type in your name, like I said, Cupcake, and you put in your phone number and you hit submit. Now, our office have put in place, are you sure you want to submit? Well, maybe you want to drink a little, this is bubbly, sparkling water. It's actually my favorite. And so you want to come back to it. You can do that. And so right now I'm going to say, yes, I want to submit. And once you submit your appeal, you're going to receive a filing ID number that says your appeal has been successfully submitted. If you win your appeal, you will receive a notice in the mail, not online, but in the mail. And your new value will be reflected on your second installment 2026 bill. Got it? Okay. Can't see any faces out there, but yes, you received it on your 2026 second installment bill. So, checking your property exemption history is everything. I say check your exemption history. It's important that you receive those savings. Those savings contributing to a lower tax bill. Your appeal history, your reassessment. You can read about the reassessment. You can read the valuation report for every township that's being reassessed. Please, I urge you to use our website for your advantage when you file an appeal and just looking up your data and helping your family and your friends. Okay? Now, I don't see any questions, and I want to say to you, please drop all questions in your chat. I want to thank you all for joining us, but I just have a few more slides I want to go through. Just hold on just a little bit. I know I'm hot, but guess what? Just give me a few minutes, okay? So let me just talk to you about the exemptions. We actually have 9 exemptions, and I'm just going to go over them briefly. We have what we call the homeowner's exemption. We have the senior exemption, the veteran with disability exemption, the returning vet exemption, persons with disability exemption, the senior freeze exemption, the home improvement exemption, and the long time exemption. And in addition to all 8 of those, we have one more, and it's called the World War II Veterans Exemption. Now, you can qualify up to 4 exemptions at one time. Yep, 4. So you can have the homeowners, the senior freeze, and persons with disability. Yes, I said 4, okay? 4 exemptions at one time. That's fabulous. That's great savings. And I want to show, I always say, people always ask me, how do you know how much savings you're receiving on your homeowners? Well, you simply take 10,000 times your tax rate. Now, everyone rates different, varies, okay? Like I live in the city of Chicago. So people that live in Maine Township would have a different tax rate. So you take 10,000 times your tax rate. And for the senior, you multiply 8,000 times the tax rate, okay? So you can calculate your savings, all right? And I believe with the disabled persons, it's 2,000 times the tax rate. Yeah, great savings, right? I believe so. So all exemption, when you're applying for your exemptions, we get numerous questions through our email and our database. I don't see my exemptions. Why? Because you're looking at the first bill. Look at your second installment bill. Everything happens on that second installment property tax bill. Your homeowners, your senior freeze, your persons with disability, all exemption savings will be displayed on your second installment property tax bill. And of course, your savings, your decrease, if you file for an appeal and you won the decrease, it will be on your second installment bill. Not the first bill, but the second bill. I always say the blue bill is my winter bill. The yellow bill is my summer bill. So everything happens on my summer bill. Okay. I don't know how you're going to, determine it, but this is how I do it. Now, the Cook County assessor, the Cook County treasurer, Maria Pappas, she did a fabulous job with this, where your money goes. She actually broke down everything, where your money is going, and she notated the changes in your taxing district by the last year or two. And it's so important, right? Because you can see how much money the Board of Education needs. This is the city of Chicago. And so the water reclamation, do they need more money? Do they need less money? Does the mosquito abatement need money? Things of that nature. Take a look at your second installment bill. Like I said, the Cook County Treasurer's Office, Maria Pappas, the treasurer, did a fantastic job breaking this down. It displays how much property taxes to each taxing district that changed from last year. Fabulous. I really love this, So we are here to help. I know it's 6:30 and I don't see any questions in the chat because my co-worker Michelle Redini would have answered them all. But contact us on social media. Make an appointment if you want to come in and speak to someone. We have 4 locations. And email us. Yes, and sign up to receive information from our office so that you won't miss pertinent information in regards to your property. Okay? Because we're here to help and it's free. I want to thank each and every one of you for attending our workshop. Michelle, I can't hear you, but I'm going to bring you to the stage. Are there any questions before we close out? No? Well, since we don't have any questions, I want to thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for being here. You could have been any place else, but you decided to spend your time with us. Thank you and have a good evening.